Welcome back, everybody, for some members first content. Today, I have my top 10 in 10 for you, where I'm going to give you my quick rundown on this week's hottest selling books, whether it be by volume, price increases, etc. These are things that just stand out to me personally that I feel are worth mentioning and running them down for you in 10 minutes or less. Just kind of a quick, recap of this week's hottest sales. Hopefully you find this helpful, and let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Members are going to get this as soon as I'm done doing this, little video here Thursday night. Everybody else have to wait till Friday afternoon. And if you want to see what books I got for you this week, all you got to do is hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, so let's get this clock started and run this down, like I said, in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Well, first up, we have a book that I did mention on my Wednesday watch list earlier this week. This is that 1 in 25 Icon versus Hardware homage cover there to, what is it, Adventure Comics? Or I can't remember what Superman book this is, but Brainiac, you got Icon, you got Hardware. This thing, there aren't that many of these out there. I'll preface this right now. Not a lot of sales, but they're not a lot available either. I don't know how many places are ordering 25 copies of this particular book. That said, going into this week's watch list, I did find one sale. There was a pre-sale from back in, what is that, June? For like $50, $55. A couple months ago. Kind of irrelevant at this point. But since release day, this book came out on Tuesday, there were two sales, and they maintained that price, if not increased a little bit. $50 sale and a $69 sale. From what I could find, I only saw like one or two listings, and they're still in that same asking price range of like 60 to 70 bucks. So this looks to be selling at, more than double ratio, which, again, not a lot of volume on this one, but still worth mentioning because this is not a book that I don't see a lot of them out there, as I mentioned. It's been out a couple of days now, and only a few have come to market. Up next, another book that was on the watch list for this week. I did mention this Art Adams 1 in 50 incentive for Alpha Flight #1. This is the final cover. The art that I shared earlier on was just more of it was like a wider, kind of portrait, and the Alpha Flight logo was not on its side as it is here. It was also red. It was a little bit of a different color, cover. I like the layout of this, and I like how it is framed, and I like, the blue. It's nice. I do like this. I think the final product definitely exceeds that promo image that we had. That said, going into this week, pre-sales of this book were pretty high. $70 to $100 on some of those pre-sales from, earlier this week. Those are from, August 10th, August 14th. This book didn't come out till Wednesday, which would be August 16th. So since it came out on Wednesday and copies were in people's hands, well, the price kind of, maintained, even maybe ticked up a little bit. When you're looking at that $73 one, as by and large, this is selling for 90 to 100 bucks, as you can see here. And this is just, again, over the last day or two. So few sales, a few more than these. It's not just there's only 3 sales. There were a few more sales than this, but all still kind of in that same kind of range where this is, double ratio, basically. For 1 in 50, that is not too bad. Like I said, I like it. The final image, the final product is pretty good. Now, a couple other lists have talked about, and I think last week as well, the Invincible book. I saw it on Cover Price. I think even on the CBSI Hot 10 list, they had that Invincible Death of Battle Beast, which, there were a few sales, and I get it. I saw it too. But what I thought was more interesting, and thinking about Battle Beast, and we're getting Invincible coming back, it just had me looking into it. I like this cover. Yes, it's not his death. It's not his first appearance, but this is a classic Battle Beast cover on 115. So just a few issues before that death issue. And it's kind of moved up in price, sneakily. Not a lot of sales. To be fair, only a couple sales, not a lot of sales, but it did kind of tick up. If we look back, what is that? Back in like June, 130 bucks for like a 9.8 is just like an example. Raws were kind of like in that $30 kind of range as well over the last couple of months. But just this past week, there was a 9.8 sale, best offer accepted, got 180 bucks. Which is a nice little increase from that 130, from June, and then 50 bucks on the Raws, which again is a nice little increase up from that 30 to 35 that we've been seeing recently too. So kind of an uptick here in all things Battle Beast related. Is it just because that other book was on hot lists, so people are moving to the next thing? I don't know, but I thought it was worth mentioning. And like I said, this is a pretty cool cover. I like it. So if you can find it, good on you. That said, news, I don't know if it's news, but in interviews with Blue Beetle coming out this weekend, the director was talking about how he did want to do a Bane movie, even thought about putting Bane in Blue Beetle. And that got a lot of buzz going back around the character of Bane, and mentions of, hey, dream casting of Batista being Bane. That would be fantastic. It would be entertaining. I would watch it. But interest went back to the Vengeance and Bane one shot from 1993. A little more than 20 sales over the last week based off of some of these, this little news stories and things popping up. So a little bit of volume there to kind of make this notable, because this wasn't selling before that. So it just kind of brought it back into people's minds. And seeing some of the sales, $65 raw, up to $90, ain't too bad either. Where this is kind of like languished and lingered there in that $50 range for what seems like forever. So a little bit of an uptick, I think, too, in those raw prices. But hey, it is what it is. Moving on to our next book. We also had a little bit of volume here on that Red Hulk #1, another 20 plus sales, which I guess people are getting excited for the next Cap movie and the Thunderbolts movie. We're going to see Harrison Ford. Rumors still that Red Hulk is going to appear. We'll see. But this book, for whatever reason, is moving a little bit. Again, not a ton, but 20 plus sales over a week's time ain't too bad as far as volume goes. And the prices are in, a little above 60, almost hitting 70 here. Raws, those are bids at auction. So there is interest. It's not just buy it now. It's like there's auctions. So there's some bidding going on here. And then you can see 325 best offer accepted on that 9.8. I think I looked it up. I think it accepted like 280 maybe. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly, and I didn't put it in here, but still, $325 ask. They accepted a best offer, so that book sold. Moving on, got to pick up the pace here because I think we're only halfway through and we only got 4 minutes left. This book was on the list last week, but it's still selling with another 25 plus sales on this 1 in 25 for Night Terrors #3, the homage to, Hulk, Wolverine cover. It's just moving. And it's moving for a little bit more than it was even last week. So volume's still there. Last week, it was selling for around $35, $40 above ratio. This week, it's still moving, and now it's selling for around $45 to $50. So price is kind of ticking up, inching up on this one. It looks like this one might last and stay in this kind of range for a while. I don't see a huge drop-off coming, as people are enjoying the read here on Night Terrors as well. So I think that is also helping interest remain with this. Plus, it's an homage to a very classic cover, so that doesn't hurt either. I think interest will maintain with this one for the long term as well. This will probably still linger around that $40 mark at a minimum for a good long while, probably. But we'll see. More news this week. We got some sneak peek images, I think, from Entertainment Weekly for the new Toxic Avenger movie with Peter Dinklage. Got people excited. It's coming soon. Another 25 plus sales here on this Toxic Avenger 1 from Marvel Comics. Yeah, so like I said, the interest is there. People are getting excited for this stuff. So volume, issues are starting to move on that aftermarket with, again, just under 30, I think, here. But price-wise, this is going for 20 to $30 raw, which is also on a bit of an uptick from where it has been, because there's a lot of $10 to $15 sales forever on this thing. And then even that 9.8 best offer on 230 got just about $200 on it. So not that deep of a discount on that offer either. Copies moving. Speaking of copies moving, and something I did mention in the dollar bin digging for this week is this next book, Avengers 35, part of the Time Runs Out, the beginning of the Time Runs Out storyline, which is rumored to be the premise for the next Doctor Strange movie. That was the little rumor news bit that hit this week. So we'll see. Good read, great read. Hickman sets up battle, all the Battle World, Secret Wars type stuff. It makes a lot of sense. How they're going to pull it off, I have no idea. But interest is still there. 30 plus sales on this particular book this past week, and it's not selling for that much, which is why I put it in dollar bin digging, because it's still pretty cheap even out there. But copies have been selling for 10 to 20 recently. By and large, there's a lot of $5, $7 sales too, but more average recent sales are in that $10 to $20 kind of range, with 9.8s moving at about $100. So keep that in mind as well. Up next, I got a minute and a half. I think I got 2 books left for you. Another book that maintains itself on this list again is New XMen 114. Still a lot of copies moving. Just a lot of copies still moving with another 80 plus sales. Last week was over 100. So it's down a bit as far as volume goes, but 80 plus sales is still a lot. And price-wise, it is kind of ticking up and being like leveling off a little bit more right here in this kind of $20 raw kind of range. And then you can see a newsstand. There is a newsstand version accepting a best offer on 60. So newsstands selling at least double than your direct market edition. So keep that in mind as well. With a minute left, we got one book left. The other rumor of the week that has a lot of people excited, and another thing I talked about on Dollar Bin Digging, is Dazzler. Rumors of Taylor Swift possibly playing Dazzler in a cameo role of some kind in this Deadpool 3 Wolverine, movie that's coming, has this first appearance moving. Over 100 sales. Over 100 sales this week for this particular book. Uncanny X-Men 130. And Dazzler 1's moving as well, but I thought this was much more interesting going to her first appearance, as prices are also, look at this, raw. 7 bids, 172.50. $200 accepted. Raw copies. Crazy. Granted, they're near mint, but they're not 9. I mean, they could be 9.8 carrying. They're listed as 9.2, and I think the other one's also listed as near mint, but solid sales there. We'll see what happens. All just rumor, but who knows? It may pay off in the end. And with that, our clock is done. We are going to wrap this up, and I got it done in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So thank you again to all you members. You guys will get this a little bit early. Everybody else will have to wait for this Friday afternoon. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know if you have any of these books, what you think of these books, what you're seeing out there selling. What did I miss? Because I know I missed stuff too. I'm just one person here. There's no council, there's no committee. It's just me checking out the stuff that I find interesting on that aftermarket and sharing it with you. So if I missed something, again, let me know in the comments down below, and we'll see. We'll track it maybe for next week. And with that all said, thank you all. Appreciate the support, and I will see you with some more content very, very soon. All right, later.